You here? Yeah, yeah. I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Canoom Council of Moon. You already know what you're gonna give when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Canoom. Yeah, yeah. I'm here. While I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear. Yeah, yeah. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode of My Thoughts, and as the title states, God is a man according to the Bible. Okay, we already went over um, in the creation story, God has identified himself as a man. So I don't have to go back and forth on that. Um, Yesterday, we went over the creation story again. After God created man in Genesis 1:27, the man God forgot and did it again in Genesis 2:7. And then you get the original story as we were taught. Adam was made first from the ground. The Lord fashioned him, blew in his mouth, and man became the soul of the man became a living man. You hear me? So all these things you can see would take place in the thoughts of a man, for the belief of a man, and this is all set for worship of a man. You hear me? So let's continue on with that, and let's look at the ancestors, and we'll get straight to this episode. I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know what this one is about. Okay, let's look at it.
There's one thing you have to get through your mind and keep it. Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception.
There's no exception. Okay. Today we're going to talk about two key fascinating characters, two key biblical characters. You notice how I'm choosing my words. Two key biblical characters put forth to the world supposedly as human beings. You hear me? But human beings has birthdays, death days. Excuse me. They have things that you will be able to find once they die. You can go through history and find, okay, he lived here, this happened, this. You'll be able to have a historical way of finding this historical supposed person, right? The father and son duo I'm talking about, these people have said to be after God's own heart. The progenitor, which is David. This is a man that the black Hebrew Israelite, the Yahweh, the Yahats, and all these Yahuwahites and all this type of silliness. These are the men that they adore. They wear gray, big old King David, stars of David's, all this all nonsense. David was a damn fool, but he got to be a damn fool because of the man God. You hear me? Named Yahweh, Messiah, all this type of stuff. Man wrote this stuff for the worship of man and the benefit of man. Why do you think Christianity is so packed? Because men created this stuff for worthless men. Now, a man in his right mind know that he's responsible for his own actions. Any man know that. But see, with this whole doctrine, even the Jewish one and the Hebrew doctrine, it's all based now around Christianity. You hear me? Because Christianity is the oldest religion on the planet. You can fall down. They have silly songs. We fall down, we get up. Because the Lord said you can fall 7 times 7 times 7. You can fall all this time as long as you come back to the Lord. And a lot of people who don't want no responsibility on their life, they know they out here doing silly stuff, cheating, drinking, using drugs, who knows what. They come back to this type of rhetoric and doctrine because this is something you can lean on. You know, you can go to sleep, put it under your pillow, and the Lord got you. You can raise hell on this earth, but when you leave, because you said your prayer, you go up to the sky with this Yahweh, this Jehovah Jireh, this Jehovah Nisi, this Yahshua Hamashiach, Yamashia, this Baha Kaddish. You hear me? All this silly foolishness. King David was a rapist, a murderer, a sexual pedophile, a deviant. Okay. That's how the story goes now. It's told like this in the Bible. King David seen a little girl taking a bath. They said it was a purity rites. After you have a female have her monthly cycle, you take a bath. This is how the story goes. Now, and the Jews, obviously, they love this story because King David is their emblem of how the Jews or the Hebrews started. You hear me? And you have these weirdly dressed, oddly strange dressed men who believe this nonsense. It's never been no King David. Never been a man named King David. Not one time. He's seen a little girl from his kingly palace, and all this stuff never been found. Got people that go draw the outline, said this was his palace here, go up in Israel and Jerusalem and stand there and say, man, I'm in David's palace. You a damn fool. Never been nobody named that. You hear me, African people? This is all created by man, said to be given to you by another man, Yahweh, God, Jesus the Christ, the Holy Spirit, all men, never a woman. They don't even like women because the European don't respect women. I'm saying all this to warm you up for what I got for you, okay? I just got to let you introduce you to the stars of the show today. David seen a little girl taking a bath and said, hey, I want her. He was the king. He didn't have to do nothing else other than that. It's a rape, but the way that the Hebrew Israelites raised them up, you'd think that this was, like he took her to Sizzler or Outback and he had dates with. No, he said, go get her. I want to sleep with her. Never asked him, inquiring who she was, if she's taken, and things of that nature. The little girl, Bathsheba, was married to one of David's friends named Uriah. He was going to war. So this man sent for, he didn't know any of this at the time, rapes her. Because when I sent for him and said, I want to lay with you, don't have no choice. It's the way it was back then. These are heathens. These are European stories told to the European heathens. Now the black Hebrew Israelite takes the story, co-ops it, paint everybody black and say that's me. They're proud of being a rapist. African men, now dressed up under the name of Hebrew and Jew. They proud of rape. Rapes her, get her pregnant. The first baby died. They talking about this is Yahweh's way of punishing her. Send Uriah back to war. Tell the man, hey, put Uriah in the front row so he can get murdered. He didn't want him to find out she was pregnant for David. This is all David's doing. He's the king. Uriah gets murdered. He takes Bathsheba as his wife. They end up having a son named Solomon. Peculiar, but hey, this is the king, the mighty man of Yahweh and God and Messiah and the Christian God now, Jesus, God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Because all these are all together. You hear me? Solomon comes about. And all these men they said David was after God's heart. Solomon is the greatest, wisest king ever lived. Never did nothing wise. They tell you a story. He had a little, two women before him screaming and hollering with a baby. And we don't know who the baby's real mother is. They screaming and saying, that's my baby, that's my baby. He said, get me a knife. Give me a knife. Just get a knife. I'm going to settle this right now. Give me a sword. And I'm going to cut the baby in half. So they take this and say, this is speaking of his wisdom. That's stupid. Harming a child should never be construed as wise. Rather, his intentions was to do it or not. That's not how you... Have you ever seen the judge say, hey, he's claiming that's his vehicle. He's claiming that's his vehicle. Give me a shotgun. Give me a shotgun, and I'm going to show you who's the real owner of this vehicle. Once I start busting caps in this vehicle, I'm going to shoot this vehicle up, and the real owner would scream and say, hey, no, don't tear that vehicle up. That's his vehicle. That's stupid. Anyway, this man meets a lady named, he was the greatest, wisest king. All he did was sleep with 700 women, had 700 wives, all this carrying on. Pathetic heathens. This is European. But the Hebrew said this is them. These are African stories. No, it's not. These are European stories, because once the European get it, he takes it and he makes it his. If anything like this was going on in history, it would have to be of an African nation or civilization. Was no Europeans doing anything kingly in 1000 BC. You hear me? Or before that. So this Solomon meets a lady named Sheba. Well, Sheba hears about him Same thing, but Sheba, now Makeda, queen of Sheba, of Ethiopia, she hear about his wisdom. She takes all her men, a whole harem of elite bodyguards. Just her bodyguards was bigger than his whole army. Go down there, he gives her excessive foods that's too hot for her, and he rapes the lady. In Ethiopian tradition, because that's all you can find this in the Bible, they say in Second Kings and First Chronicles, all this carrying on. She went, asked some questions, gave them riddles, and then she went back home. Please said, "Oh, he was wiser than I thought." It's a damn lie. All of it is lies. And the Ethiopians, they're my brothers. I love them. They're all whole continent is African people, are my ancestors, but they're some of the most gullible people in the world. There never was Christianity in Ethiopia in the times they said it was. The furthest I believe that they say it go back is 341 AD. This story took place in supposedly 900 something BC. So you wait damn near 16 to 1900 years later, something to that effect, because you got 300. I'm sorry, this is 1,000. The story I'm talking about is from 900 BC. Take that away. 1,300 years, 1,300 years later, you put the story out in 340 some AD, and that's not true because the stories is not even that old. Let's look at it. I'm going to show you the story of this King Solomon, the greatest, wisest king ever. His lineage is David, the greatest king, rapist. All they did was rape. If the father raped, the son of rape. Let's look at this, and this is from the Ethiopian tradition. Like I say, they my brothers, but they the most gullible people in the world. They'll take your tradition and make it real for you, because Ethiopia, they love people. So they'll take your myth and make it big and real for you. This is what they do. Put it in the books and say, okay, this is how old this is. This is real. It's never been nobody named Melanek. Let's look at this story. I'm going to show you the story of Queen of Sheba, which is Ethiopia, Cush, Aksum, Gandhar, any of these names you want to call them. We know it as Ethiopia today. When this silly Jewish peasant raped her. Let's look at it. And this is all done under the watchful eye of the man God, Yahweh, Messiah. Hey, let's look at this, African people. You can look this up on your own. This is from thevalue.com. It says it right there. Christianity in Ethiopia. The seduction of Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. Okay, this is just tradition. None of this is real, but it's in the Ethiopian Bible. Okay, so I'm going to read that for you. You can screenshot all this or you can find it on your own. Okay, this is The Value. Like I said, it's called thevalue.com. You can go look this up. And this is just a tradition. This is myth. Okay, now what this saying is most people believe in the Christian God. Most people who believe in the Christian God go on pilgrimages to Jerusalem, the Vatican, and perhaps European cities. All European, because the European is the one that's giving you the story. That's why he gets so much understanding and he gets so much love on this stuff. Okay, this is his story. Who would think Ethiopia would be the world? Let me see. Who would think of Ethiopia when the word Christianity comes up? In fact, the kingdom of Aksum. Okay, the modern day northern Ethiopia converted to Christianity in 341 AD. Now they say 341 AD is when Ethiopia became Christian. That's a lie. Okay, this story took place in 970 BC. So what happened from 970 BC, go all the way down to zero, because you have to go in reverse when you talk about BC, when you count in the year. So that's 970 plus 341. That's around 1,300 years. It took them 1,300 years to understand that this story was true. And then they said, finally, now we can have Christianity. No, that's a lie. Okay. And was one of the first few countries to make Christianity an official religion. Okay, let's see. Is any of this stuff right here? Let's keep going. Behind the historical facts of how the religion spread to Ethiopia, lies the romantic legend of Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. In this article, we're going to visit the ruins of Aksum, okay? Trace the tales of the lush and exotic queens, as well as the history of how Christianity came to the country. So let's continue. What else? What do I want to show you guys on this? Okay, go down a little bit. It's just reading today. I don't have anything to play for you. We're going to stop it right there. This is why I say everything in the Bible is European. Again, if you suppose, okay, if all this was going around in 1000 BC, it would only be African queens. That's true. This never happened, so the European can interject their images. They know it wasn't no person and Queen of Sheba. Never happened. Anytime you take a historical person and put it with a Bible character, you can throw them both out of history, because no historical person is in the Bible. The Bible is built off oral tradition, allegory, mythology, and fiction. Let's continue. This is supposed to be a photograph of her depicted by the Europeans. Okay, so they say the Queen of Sheba, 1001 BC, okay, to 955 BC. It wasn't a European king at that time, nowhere, especially not in no Aksum, not in Kush, not in Ethiopia. Let's continue. This is foolishness. Okay. Presents in many countries, including the Ethiopian, Jewish, Christian, and even Islamic traditions. Her potent yet conflicting images are depicted in many modern fantasies. She is often imagined as a woman with great opulence and eroticism. Yet she also carries the image of a noble African queen who uniquely represents Black beauty in the Hebrew Bible. So in the Hebrew Bible, it says she was an African queen. Okay, I got no problem with that. It's still false, but when you make it to the Bible, something has went wrong. They're trying to use you for a historical manner to tie up historical people into you, and it's just not historical. It's nobody named Queen of Sheba in real history, just in Ethiopia. Myth and tradition, which people have made real today. Let's continue. What else I want to show you about this? Okay, they go on to another depiction and show you how people say this is how she would have looked in an African representation. Okay, it's coming up here, right there. This is how some people depict her in the African sense. Okay, it's an artwork depicting the Queen of Sheba as an African queen. If the story was real, this would have been more into the likening of who she were. And I'm sure she would have been darker than this, but I can understand. Okay. Now, let me go down a little bit. I want to read just a couple of things to you. Bear with me. I usually play stuff, but I want to read this. The foolish version of the legend of the Queen of Sheba appears in the Hebra Nagas, Glory of the Kings. Okay. The Ethiopian national saga date between the 6th and 14th centuries and was translated from Arabic in 1322. So if it was translated from into Arabic in 1322, how was it dating back all the way to the 6th century? Never mind. Okay, let's continue, African people. The story between Sheba and King Solomon, 970 to 931, okay, BC. But you just get it in the AD period, okay? Anyway, like I say, my Ethiopian family is very gullible, and they'll make a myth and a king for you, and they'll solidify it, putting it in their books, and you'll believe it's real. This is European people have done this, delivered this to the Ethiopians for a price, because they have always had a relationship with foreign people, the Ethiopians, when it comes to not being invaded. They've always had a respect for otherworldly figures. if you have a myth and you want to interject it and say, hey man, date this and put this back, and for us, they would oblige you on that. So let's continue. This began when Solomon was seeking merchants from all over the world to buy materials to build his temple. Having heard of Solomon's great wisdom, she sent a merchant called Tamarin to visit the king. Tamarin returned to his queen and told her about Solomon's elaborate wisdom, to God, and his great skills in building temples. Never had one, so this is false. It was no temple at that time. Show it to me, and I say that this is real. Thus, Sheba paid a visit to Solomon in Jerusalem, and tested him with questions as quoted from Kings 1:10 in the Hebrew, all that's still in the Bible. They don't put this part in the Bible, though. What I'm getting ready to read you, they don't put this in the Bible. This is only found in the Ethiopian or Ethiopic myths. So as you can see here, this is more when the European get the story, they take it from you. See that? That's Yul Brennan and all that. This is Sheba and Solomon. Solomon has always been a white man. But the black Hebrew Israelites, anybody else who want to turn them black, they just turn them black. Now, I'm going to read you this information under there. When the Europeans start giving you depictions and cinema, make it cinema and put Hollywood in it, you can forget it. Queen of Sheba prepared some challenging riddles for King Solomon to test his intelligence. King Solomon was able to answer all the questions, which left her breathless. As queen of great wealth, she was even more blown away by King Solomon's palace, including the food of his table, the seating of his officials, the attendance of his servants, his burnt offerings, which he offered at the house of the Lord, from Kings 1:10 of the Hebrew. So she said she was taken aback by all this. This is all false, but I can understand. It's never happened. But, for the sake of the story, I want to read this for you. So I believe this will be the last paragraph I'll read. Let me go up so you guys can see it, because you can screenshot all this stuff yourself. And it says Solomon and the Queen Sheba by Giovanni in 1789 to 1859. These the furthest. A lot of these myths go back. Let's continue. During her visit, King Solomon made Queen of Sheba promise not to take anything from his house, and he would not harm her. If you were visiting a king who was so brilliant in knowledge and things of that nature, and he has this guest that's a queen, the largest queen ever. He's never met a queen because they don't have queens in Israel. Show me one queen of Israel. Bet you can't do it. The European does not respect women, and this story is going to show you that. This is Solomon now, but it's European, but the black Hebrew Israelite believes it's him. Africans don't deal like this. Hey, he told her, hey, don't take nothing from me. This is a king telling this to a queen, the most prized possession on the planet, the queen. Don't take nothing out my palace and I won't cause no harm to you. Do you think this lady came bringing gold and all the type of stuff? Says she brought the largest load he ever had of goods. Who knows the amount? He said, hey, don't take nothing and I won't harm you. Come on, man. This ain't no scrub. This ain't no scrub woman. This is the queen of all the world. Let's continue. This is European based for European fools and the followers of any of this stuff. Whoever been taken to follow this stuff is a fool too. Excuse my language, but that's what I think about people like you. Okay, he will not harm her. One night before King Solomon went to bed, he placed a bowl of water near Queen Sheba's chamber. This is enticing her to drink the water so he can rape her. Okay. And this is all in Ethiopian tradition, so they logged it and put it in their Bibles. Queen of Sheba woke up in the middle of the night, feeling thirsty as her meal was spicy. She found the water and drank it. Solomon heard noises, woke up, and accused her of having broken the oath. The queen said to Solomon, "Ignore your oath. Just let me drink water." The relationship between King Solomon and Queen Sheba was consummated that night. What relationship? She came to seek knowledge and trade and bring him what he was looking for. She sent one merchant to say, "Hey, go check him out," because he wanted to buy stuff that they didn't have in Israel and Jerusalem. So she brought all this stuff in and he rapes the lady. Okay, let's continue. Sheba was it said a relationship was consummated that night. Okay, where is that? Where am I at? Before that, she had remained a virgin by choice. Medieval Jewish legends say that she made her choice to not have sexual intercourse because her legs was hairy. Okay. So this was a young woman, her legs was hairy. She'd never had a man, she'd never taken a man, and he ruins this lady and rapes her. But the Hebrew Israelites and the Jewish community and Ethiopians actually thought this was something to marvel and revel in. See, they make a story of it like it's good. So let me continue. That's supposed to be her because they, of course, Europeanized it up. On her way home, Queen of Sheba gave birth to a son named Melanick. Okay, that's all we need to see. So a rapist gone wild named Solomon and David. Two rapists gone wild. All this is done under the roof in the house of the man God. So I'm just proving to you that God is a man because no other supreme being who can be in charge of everything except for free will and all this type of stuff. The only thing that they have to be on their side will allow two rapists not only to just be two key figures, but they're adorned, they loved. A whole nother religion was birthed off these two gentlemen's name, the Black Hebrew Israelites or the Hebrew Israelites. You hear me? So I'm showing you continuously that God is a man. He has no power and he never would have any power. You hear me? That's how the story goes now. Look this stuff up for yourself and you will see that if you want to continue to be a fool, you would honor all these two rapists gone wild, and this is all the key figures of these religions, and you worship them. Go on and have a son named Melanick from the rape. He's adorned. He's the next king. Go visit his silly rapist gone wild father. He gives him the Ark of the Covenant, and he takes it back home to Ethiopia, where it still resides today. It's never been no Ark of the Covenant. If you believe that, I got $2 for you. Please go pick me the next winning lottery tickets. That's my thoughts on all this information. You can do with it as you please. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Canoe Council Moon. You already know what you're going to give when you step in this room. You're now doing with Canoe. This is what I do, and I love to do it. And before I take back what I said, I add some more to it. This is not to take religion from you. This is to give you knowledge and information so that you can restore your spirituality. You don't need this crap. You don't need two rapists going wild to be your leaders, your Hebrew Israelite leaders and your Jewish. These are the staples of that community. You don't need these to be the pillars of rape. Oh, it wasn't rape like that, man. You going wrong. But rape is rape. You hear me? You don't need this in your life. All you need to do is unlock your spirituality, which you already came with that. Anything you want, you put in your mind, the universe will provide that for you. Okay. You don't know the name of this type of source because I don't know the name of the source who put me here. I'm not an atheist. I know it's something larger than me. What it is, I don't know, but I'm not going to masculinize it. I'm not going to feminize it and say it's a male or a female. I don't understand what it is. But to call it God and say that God let all this go on because a raggedy ass book says so, I reject your deposit. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I thank you for watching. If you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe because it won't cost you a fee. Education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. Before you pick up a weapon or a silly religion such as this, pick up some knowledge first. Okay? If anybody's offended by anything you heard, I mean every word. Sorry, I was long-winded. I was explaining a couple of things, and I wanted to read that for you. This is about two rapists going wild, all under the roof and the ceiling of God, the man God. That proves God is a man. Thank you.